Hello and welcome to the podcast. This is a new
everybody.
podcast.
It might have been like demon possessed. It was a fairly large, mutated looking chicken.
We were born in the north, but we grew up in the south.
We learned all of our words from Pennsylvania.
And people are, that's toboggan. That little toboggan
Not
there.
a toboggan. A toboggan is a sled. Okay.
0.3 inches, baby.
Dude, I can't take it. No, it's like
let's get in there in a bit.
All right.
Welcome back to this episode of the Wiseworks podcast.
Hi.
Last
What's up?
week we did the episode with the Greater Remember.
How's my hair? I haven't even checked it.
Ooh,
What's it look like?
normal, normal.
I got out of the shower and I just haven't looked at it yet. This side's sticking up.
Yeah, but it's not bad.
All right, whatever. I don't care what I look like.
The last episode was the podcast with our short film, The Greater Remembering.
We hope you liked it.
Mm-hmm. It was a bit crazy. We had little goofs and gaffs and a lot of crying.
Yeah, if you haven't watched it and don't care to listen to the whole spiel before and after inside the podcast, you can go over to Wiseworks Entertainment YouTube channel or wiseworksent.com and you'll find it there. Don't get too attached to Wiseworks ENT. That's just what it's called right now.
We got to decide on that quick.
I already know what we're going to do.
Okay.
But I don't want to say it on the podcast.
Yeah.
Because I don't want anyone to steal the URL. It's very available. I just got to wait until February.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We can discuss this after the podcast. Okay.
It's a little church announcement.
But that was a short film. We've been talking about a lot
Micro.
about film things lately. We had the episode with Alex Ferrari. We talked about film entrepreneur. Filmtrepreneur. Yes. That's yeah. Filmtrepreneur.
And we talked about the industry a bunch. We talked about going to school in the industry. And then last week we talked a little bit more about the industry from just our perspectives after the short film we showed. We talked about a little bit of production on the short film. And so we're kind of on a film thing, which normally we do talk about film. This is a filmmaking podcast, but it's also a stories podcast. And it's also a Follow Along the Journey podcast.
Yeah.
So,
that's a big thing why I got into filmmaking in general. I would say my first passion is to watch a good movie, man. I think that's how most people get into filmmaking in general, is like they just love sitting down and watching a good film.
Yeah.
I will have to say this. For the past couple months leading up to this, like probably month, I have just been busy with life, busy with the podcast, busy with Wiseworks, with other things. And I've been watching some films, but not like actually sitting down and enjoying a good film. This past probably 2 weeks, I have made it a point to go and watch 2 films.
Has it been fun?
And I felt like a kid at a candy store again. Did I say this on last week?
You did.
But I started off, I wanted to watch Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
So I put the first Fellowship of the Ring on. I watched it and I was like, yes, this is so good. And then I saw an advertisement for Mel Gibson's Hacksaw Ridge.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, I've
Gotta
only
watch
seen
that.
like a couple times, maybe once. I'm going to go watch it. I went and watched it last night. It was beautiful.
It's a good movie.
It was like one of those things. I'm like, I know I have to go to work tomorrow. I'm going to stay up and watch it anyway. Watch it anyway.
Yeah.
I sleep when I'm dead.
Sleep when you're dead, boys and girls. What movies have I watched recently? Oh, I watched a real short movie that was on Netflix about a Catholic school, and it was weird. Kenzie liked it kind of, but it was only an hour 15 with credits.
That's not
When have you known like a feature film to be an hour 15? I thought a feature film needed to be 90 minutes.
It depends on, I guess, the time frame, because only till like the past couple of years people are making these 4-hour films.
You mean like recently we're making shorter films?
No, more recent, people are getting towards doing the longer films with like Marvel stuff.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, they've been doing that forever. They just had intermissions.
Well, yeah, if you think about it, like a huge Hollywood film like
Scarface is so long.
Yeah, there's give and take. There's short films, there's long
Gone
films.
with the Wind is so long.
Yeah, I mean, there's here and there long films, but mostly it's been short.
Godfather. I mean, I could keep going.
Well,
I think it's just a weird phenomenon. I think it's pretty consistent. Mm-hmm. If you're gonna make like a real adult, meant for adults film, like drama and stuff that adults are gonna enjoy, they usually went longer in the old days. And then if it was geared towards like family friendly stuff or just more kids could watch this also, it was usually about 90 minutes. I don't know why the industry came up with that. It probably has something to do with TV. Airing it on TV.
Yeah, airing it on TV and attention spans and stuff like that now.
That's interesting because the time of movies probably had to do with TV. And then also the episodic format.
What do you mean by episodic?
Like format? How shows have episodes was also because of TV. But we still do that even though Netflix is releasing all the episodes at once.
Yeah, we do.
So it's like we do this weird thing where we're like, here's episodes or here's like a show, but we're going to binge it like a movie.
I know people binge stuff, especially on Netflix, but I think it just makes it more consumable because they can say, oh, I'm going to watch one episode, and then they end up watching 5.
I know. It's just interesting that we're keeping the formats, even though... We're keeping the formats even though like we don't have to anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like what if you just did like a show, but it's actually just 2 episodes and each of them are 2 hours long? Like people see you have a gut reaction. You're like, we wouldn't do that. But why wouldn't we do that?
I think, like I said, people they want to watch that. They're like, oh, I'll just watch one episode, but then they get engulfed in watching a whole bunch of episodes.
Yeah.
There is shows like that. I mean, Netflix does it all the time. I mean, Game of Thrones was like that. What was it like? Sherlock Holmes was like this.
Sherlock Holmes was like that. And their times were inconsistent.
Yeah.
Like not all of them were the same exact amount of time, I think.
No. I mean, they've done stuff like that, but people don't like it as much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they like the format. I think it's like they can feel it in the gut. Changes the vibe.
And the way they just create that episode, it's more of like...
The industry probably knows like how long the production's going to take because of that format.
And we have things of like... Yes, it's a continuous story if like you're talking about like a show with the same characters each week or the same characters each episode, but each show is almost like its own story, kind of. There is some that cross over and stuff, but they have their own story within that, the arch of the story, the big overall season.
Yeah.
So it just makes it easier to create something if they're in short, bite-sized episodes.
Bite-sized episodes. Yeah. Like Rick and Morty, I know it still plays on TV. But Rick and Morty is a classic 21-minute cartoon.
Yeah.
And the 21 minutes it's 30 minutes with commercials, you know?
Yeah.
That's classic. And a lot of cartoons still do that.
A lot of shows do that.
Yeah. How's Sober October going?
I haven't worked out at all.
You're a liar.
Nah. I mean, I guess it's the last week. I'm so far ahead.
Can we decide real quick so people watch this? Because this is coming out. Sober October's done.
Yeah, it's done.
But we don't know right now as recording this who won. So how are we exactly going to release this information? Because people are probably tuning in and being like, who won Sober October for this episode?
They're going to have to wait till
a week?
Next week. Or this week, this will come out on Tuesday, this Friday.
No.
So for the midnight special, not like this one coming up, but in our time it'll be 2.
Oh, yeah.
But when this airs, this will air on Tuesday. Then coming up on Friday, that's when they'll have to find out.
So we're doing it on the midnight special.
Yeah, we have to.
This
Wyatt's going to be there. Yeah.
Okay. Guess that makes sense.
So
that works in the schedule.
So for us, the next episode of the midnight special that we record, we will not know either.
Yeah.
But the following one, we will.
Yeah, but they've already listened to that episode.
Yeah. It's a schedule with filming and everything.
We've pulled back the curtains so much on our
our
scheduling issues. We're essentially 1 week ahead, kind of, because the midnight special is not really a week ahead.
The midnight special is not a week ahead.
We
record it the same week, usually like a day or two before it airs.
Yeah.
This is 1 week in advance. So we usually record this Monday, Tuesday, and it'll come out the following week.
So we're about to record a midnight special that you're going to listen to before you've heard this.
Yeah.
And we're not recording that midnight special till like 2 or 3 days from now.
I mean, that's what most people do. They just don't talk about how they do it.
We should probably stop talking about it.
No, I mean, that's what this podcast is, just sharing what we do.
Going through the process. I like that.
Yeah.
See, I like that you pushed back on that a little bit because you're in the mindset.
I'm in the mindset. I am doing the stuff. But I mean,
feeling
going
good
back
though.
To Sober October,
ramping up. For those who don't listen to the midnight special, Josh was in the lead.
Yeah,
I'm in second.
700.
Wyatt's in third, but Wyatt
is catching up.
Big week last week.
Yeah,
big week, and he's right on my tail. I think he's like 160 points behind me. So I have been, and will continue to kick my booty to make sure Wyatt doesn't beat me.
Yeah,
and I'm trying to catch up to Joshua.
You're not going to catch up with what I'm about to tell you. I'm ready to be done, to be honest. I'm
not revealing
cultivated
anything.
Some good habits that I'm going to continue, but I want to take at least a week off and then get back into it. I don't want to break the cycle of saying like, I'm take a week and just.
I'm definitely not going to stop working out. I'm either going to be doing some form of yoga or meditation, or I'm going to be working out every day.
I might not take a week off.
A month. I feel like I have
off.
a habit now.
Yeah.
I feel like I have a habit.
But every day is just it gets down, especially when you do.
The thing is,
I do.
I wake up and I don't feel like I couldn't work out that day.
No, I don't either. It's just like, and once I get done with it, I'm just tired, especially on the weekends. I like my weekends to be just relaxing. But yesterday, okay, so usually how my week structures for Sober October, I work out pretty hard every day, but Sunday, that's kind of been my rest day. I only do like stretching or something very light on Sunday. We had some things on Saturday, so I didn't exercise as much. We only went on a small bike ride, basically. And that's all I did. I don't know what you did. You don't have to tell me because we'll figure out on the midnight special. But I didn't do anything else. So I'm like, okay, Sunday, I've got to work out.
Yeah. I
got up and I went walking. I got up early in the morning. I got up, I think I was working out by 8 on the Sunday. I went walking. I went to a local park, Mount Trashmore here in Virginia Beach, and I just walked. They have a 2-mile loop. I walked it for 2.5 hours. I walked it. And then once I did that, I went to
an hour is 100 points.
Yeah.
No, 50 points an hour.
50 points.
An hour is 50 points for walking.
And then I went to the gym and walked another hour. Well, actually, no, I did 2 hours at Mount Trashmore. I went to a gym, walked another hour, and then I did an hour of hard weight exercise. So I got 300 points altogether on Sunday. That was rough because once I got done with a 4-hour workout,
it's a lot of working out.
I went back to my apartment and I'm like, I gotta eat something. I'm so hungry. I started making food like rice and lean ground beef that I like to eat. I made the rice and I was putting it in my dish and I dumped half of it on the ground. I was so tired.
You're not holding up as good as I am.
I was tired after that workout. It was bad.
Well,
I'm going dark. I went dark. I'm going dark. That day,
I don't know if I'll catch up to you this week,
mm-mm.
but you have no idea what I'm doing this week, man.
Okay.
Got no idea.
That's good because we got to do it somehow. We got to get to that place. But let me tell you this. Because I worked out for 4 hours, hard working out. I mean, I probably burned, I don't know how many calories, but probably close to 2,000.
Wow.
That whole 4-hour workout.
2,000 is a lot of calories.
I'm just guessing, but I worked out and burned a lot of calories.
Dude, you can be on the elliptical for 30 minutes and only burn like 50 calories.
Well, the elliptical doesn't burn as much as like running or walking.
Yeah.
But I mean, I was burning like so many calories. I was so hungry and I went dark.
Okay.
I eat pretty clean, and I've tried to eat clean for this whole month because that's part of what my decision. It's not part of the rules. I just wanted to go a little bit cleaner with this. But I'm like, I'm going to take this day and work out as hard as I can and just consume calories to combat that working out. So you know what I did?
What?
I got one of those, like bag of mini donuts, and I ate the whole thing.
That's not good, Joshua.
And then I got myself a large pizza and ate the whole thing.
That's not good. It's not good, man.
It's one day out of the month, and I worked out and burned basically the whole calories anyway.
All right. Did you work out today?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm with it. On the last week, we got Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. 5 more days. 5 more.
Yep, it's going to be exciting.
Yeah.
You ready?
Oh, of course.
I'm ready. Man, it almost seems like at this point we've been going, it seems like forever.
No, this month has flown by.
Not for me.
For me,
this has been a slow month. I don't know if it's my mindset of why I'm doing it, what I'm doing.
Well, don't be a big bummer because
no,
because the people listening to this, we're in November, we're in Thanksgiving season. We hope you had an awesome Halloween. We're in the middle of the holidays now.
Yeah,
right in the middle. So, look forward. Think about things this month that you are truly thankful for. If you're healthy, goodness, be thankful for that.
I will say, and I don't want to talk about this too much because I want to talk about this on next week's Midnight Special when we kind of cap off Sober October. But actually wait, hold up. We got to talk about the schedule because that's going to interfere with some stuff if we do next week's Sober October. But
we're not doing Sober October next week. We're just doing on the Midnight Special.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If we do recap, but we'll talk about that later off the podcast.
All right.
I've been challenging myself by like reading books, listening to a lot of audiobooks, and I've been learning some stuff.
All right, what are you learning? Tell us what you're learning. Get into it.
I'm not going to. We're going to talk about it on the Midnight Special. Midnight Special. Come to the Midnight Special.
Oh, it already aired.
Yeah, but
yours already aired. That's what you're talking about.
No, next week's when we cap off Sober October on the Midnight Special. I'm going to talk about what I came to conclusions and learned and exercised, and I got myself some brain knowledge and some.
But that's
going to
be my week. That's my week of topic.
Yeah.
You can't dominate it with what you want to talk about.
No, it's going to be just recapping Sober October. Okay. That's going to be the whole episode.
Oh, it is?
Yeah. That's basically going to be the whole episode. Maybe we can talk about something else, but I think that's going to be the main episode.
All right. So I thought we should talk about a little bit of stories regarding filmmaking.
Yeah.
For those of you who... Okay, first off, imposter syndrome is a thing that has been there from the beginning, ever since I wanted to do filmmaking, until today, and it continues into the future.
Imposter syndrome. Yeah.
So if you're interested or have been doing filmmaking...
Hold on. I don't want to just graze over. I don't want to stop you from what you're saying. So just hold that thought. But imposter syndrome is the fear of not being worth or...
Well, no, just not knowing, putting a front on as if you know something, or being a part of something when you feel like you don't really know what you're doing.
Yeah.
You don't belong.
Yeah, basically,
because
you're creating a film, and just to recap with what you're saying, you're creating a film, and you're like, my film, I'm not really creating a film, and it's not good enough to be a film, but...
Or you're just comparing yourself to people who've made films.
Yeah, and you're like, I'm not worth showing my stuff because it's not good enough, but it really is. It still holds as good as that. It's just you feel insecure. That's imposter syndrome.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Keep going with what you're saying then.
Okay, but imposter syndrome, it's a thing that is here and continues, and so I thought it would be beneficial for maybe us to kind of talk about the beginnings of getting into filmmaking, not like re-talking about what we've talked about in the past, but maybe just some of our thoughts, some of our inner struggles and battles about getting into this industry, or being so bold as to say, I am getting into this industry, and not really knowing anything, feeling the imposter syndrome at a really high level, and then working your way until you wake up and you some of that I don't belong here feeling kind of goes away, because you realize you do know some stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think it's just going to be beneficial if we talk it through.
Yeah.
Not only for ourselves, but also for people watching us that might be encouraged by it.
Yeah. Something that's on my mind, and I've been thinking about this lately, and we can kind of go back from what I'm about to say, because this is more of now and day rather than when we first started.
Okay.
But something I see a lot online, especially with photography, not saying that that's film, but it's still in the same genre or what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
I see a lot of people, especially Instagrams, they have a photography Instagram page.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
When they're not good. It's not photography, but they label it as photography. And it's just the average Joe picking up a very basic camera and thinking they can do photography.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm that good at photography when it comes to like some people, but I strive to know a little bit and do at least work on some stuff and have good color and make it pleasing to the eye. So
when you're saying this then though, what's the frustration then with other people with photography pages that don't show any skill? Where's the frustration?
Well, I mean, it kind of goes back to imposter syndrome too. When I look at my stuff, I don't say this as a boastful way, but like my stuff's so much better than them, but yet they're throwing their stuff out. How can they be more so confident about their stuff? And when, to be honest, I could blow them out of the water. And it took me like 10 seconds to take a photo that was so much better than theirs.
I think your frustration is with the people that do that, who feel as if they have arrived. And maybe they're doing the whole fake it till you make it situation, where they're acting like they're a professional photographer when they're not sure. Or that opens up a different world. The thing is, with media technology, with arts, if you come into it and you think you understand things, then you have a rude awakening on your hands, because you're going to eventually hit a wall or open a door that shows that you're not on some kind of creative hard drive. You're a hard drive that's connected to the internet.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, you're going to experience that humbling feeling of not knowing anything. And in this industry, in the arts in general, and film definitely plays a big part in the arts and photography, is it changes so fast and it's all subjective.
Yeah.
There are rules that we've done in the past that like people think, oh, this is like a rule, so you follow it, so you understand it. But honestly, a lot of that is from the old days where there wasn't a lot of room to be creative, because they're just trying to get enough light on the subject so you can see them,
Mm-hmm.
They don't have cameras that can see in dark spaces. And there was a bunch of rules you had to follow. Now, technology is so big, artistic expression is growing, and it's forever growing. And even just, it's literally like fashion. What you're wearing, things change. The way you use graphic design, the way you use motion graphics, the way you film, the way even camera shots and color correction, all of these things is going to be changing.
Yeah.
With the times.
I want to promote somebody a little bit because I just found them out of the blue, and I don't know much about this individual, so I don't want to say he's very basic because that might be insulting to him. He might have been doing this for a long time, but I found, and he probably has, he has a lot of stuff on Instagram. But
who is it?
His name is Graham Johnson.
Okay.
He's a young guy, but look at this stuff. It just, for some reason, it's just refreshing to me. It doesn't have that Instagram look as much as it's just very vibrant, colorful stuff. It's kind of basic in a way, but it's so pleasing to my eye.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's about that.
Look up
that account.
at Graham W. Johnson.
Yeah. He only has like 2,000 followers, so he doesn't have that many compared to like some people on Instagram, but his stuff is so pleasing.
I think a big part of this newer stuff is it's an ocean of color and depth inside of this white border he's created.
I mean, because when I go to Instagram, I see a lot of those Instagram people cater for photography to Instagram. You know what I'm talking about? There's that photography Instagram look. But
do you see what he's doing here with these white borders?
But his stuff is it's so colorful, and it's not catered toward Instagram. It's just photography.
This is a great example. This is not just pictures.
Mm-hmm.
This is art. And I don't know. Here, I'm going to take a screenshot, and you airdrop this to me.
Okay.
Let me get a screenshot.
We can do this after the episode.
No, okay.
I can.
But look, if you look at this, what I'm showing you right now, the borders of the white it's made to look like he has pictures on a white wall.
Yeah.
That are evenly spaced. They're not every border on every picture is the same. It's not just like a bunch of squares. It's literally uniformed to look like pictures on a wall.
I mean,
and they do that.
It's not like that the whole thing.
No, it's his most new stuff. But let's talk about that. That is a great example of what I'm talking about. The industry and the world of fashion art. Let's coin the term fashion for the terms of visual arts. That's like something that's new and fresh and minimalist and beautiful, but at the same time, that's brand new. I mean, who else do you see doing that exact thing right now? The way he's doing it.
No.
There's a lot of cool ways to format an Instagram page to make it look cool, but like he just has photography. Mm-hmm. So he's like, how do I present my photography when people come to my page in a really cool way?
Yeah.
That guy's doing some cool stuff.
People who have very vibrant, colorful Instagram pages like this guy, I don't know, it's just pleasing to me. It's so vibrant. I will say, and I'll throw...
aesthetically pleasing.
I'll throw him out there too, because I think I found him because he was following this guy. He's still in film school or whatever he's doing. He's at Clemson, but Ethan Hages.
Okay.
He's got some nice photography.
Yeah.
Have you seen his stuff?
No. Let's not keep looking up people.
Okay. But someone we know, Ethan Hages, he's got some nice photography.
Yeah.
It's colorful. It's vibrant.
Not too vibrant. Don't make the mistake of thinking if you just saturate your photos, then you're going to make good photos. That's not the case. But yeah, I know what you mean. It's quality, simplistic, pleasing, thought through, aesthetically not jarring in any way. It's literally it's like visual things you could fall asleep to. Your spine relaxes when you see it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That kind of stuff.
It's beautiful.
But let's get back to what we were talking about. The idea of imposter syndrome. Tell me or tell the people about you deciding you wanted to get into film, maybe what it was that wanted to get you into it, be as open as you can. You're not talking about facts here. You're talking about what was going through your head and your emotions.
I mean, since an early age, I mean like 10 or even younger than that, we would just love to get like just a VHS tape and just watch it and watch it and watch it. We would sit down for hours and hours and hours and watch as many movies and film as we wanted. Or not
as much as we wanted.
We weren't allowed to, because we would for hours and hours. You're so engulfed and passionate, and you love doing it so much that it's just like, I don't know. It's just like it's like your addiction. I mean, don't you feel like you could watch film for hours, or do you not feel like that anymore?
No, I could definitely, probably.
I could.
I think it just has to be a captivating show. I mean, I do some days.
It's definitely my addiction.
The rare days I have nothing to do.
Yeah.
Very rare these days. I don't know why when you get older, all of a sudden you don't have days that you can just do nothing.
It's because we work.
If you're an adult and you have days that you do nothing, you might not be doing that much stuff.
But
which is redundant, but like, I don't see how adults can go through life and not have anything to do for a whole day.
Yeah, let's go back. So we would watch stuff for hours if we were allowed.
Yeah.
I mean, hours. I remember we had so many VHS tapes.
Mm-hmm.
Like little kid stuff, not what you'd think of today, but I would watch that for hours, and then it kind of grew as I got older. Just my taste changed to more adult. Not saying like adult films,
just stuff you enjoy as you get older.
Like PG-13, like Zorro. For some reason, we loved the VHS tape Zorro, The Mask of Zorro.
Yeah, and
we would just watch good films like that, and that is what got me in love with just creating film.
Mm. What was the when you just said I love this idea of creating film? Were you being driven? Maybe are you today being driven on the idea of I want to be able to create an end product that's beautiful, that is enjoyable for people to watch? What drives you kind of?
Basically that. I mean, I've talked about this, and when I even talked about this with Alex a couple weeks ago or last week, I have so many DVD or Blu-ray tapes now because I did, like growing up, we had the VHS and the DVD, and I feel like that is such a big thing for me, where if someone buys a copy of something, they're not just watching it on Netflix. They're not just watching it one time and then forgetting about it. They're investing their time into, as a viewer, into someone's product that they spent years on.
Yeah.
So for me, the fact of making films, I think my passion, I want a piece of content that someone will pay $20 to get because they want to watch this film. They will sit down on a couch, and a big pet peeve to me is people who watch a film but they'll get on their phone, their smartphone, like text and then watch, text and watch. For me, I want to put away all devices and give my sole attention to this.
Especially a movie.
Film, yes.
Not like a show's not as strict, but in a movie, every single scene and every single point of dialogue is there for a reason. So if you're ignoring, it's a form of disrespect or disinterest.
Yeah. I mean, and I'll say I'm guilty of doing it sometimes. I get distracted by other things, but if I actually sit down and watch something, I want to sit down and watch it and have my full intention into this film, because how I'm going to get the most out of it as I can.
Yeah.
So someone they like their job, but they're just frustrated from their job. They're frustrated from life, and then they get to come back to their house and watch a film, and it's just gonna they don't have to think about anything but that film for 2 hours.
Yeah.
It's gonna give them joy for 2 hours, basically.
I just listened to a podcast where somebody mentioned briefly that the world is full of service fees, right? So you get gas or something and there's a 60-cent service fee.
Yeah.
Or you have to pay with a debit card for a bill online, and there's like a $2 service fee, and we're just like, okay, yeah, whatever. You know what I mean? It's just like a couple bucks. But with entertainment, that's not the case. Because if you say like, hey, we record a podcast and we do the midnight special, we decide to do a third podcast. It's like an hour and a half of content for people that like to listen to us. It's going to be extremely difficult to get anyone who's going to be willing to pay us like $2 a month.
Yeah.
To even listen to that. Like 4 episodes extra a month. And that's hours of content. You know?
Yeah.
And so people just don't, it went from people appreciating and consuming this content that you're saying to a place where it's like, oh, what do you have for me? You know what I mean? Like how are you going to impress me? Because that's the only way I'm giving you any money. And in some ways it's almost like you have to impress me with your hard work before I even consider giving you money. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, that's just people and like being on YouTube or on the internet and having content out there like that.
Mm-hmm. Well, how does that make you feel? Because the biggest reason that you enjoy working in the industry or working in films in general is kind of a dying mentality.
Yeah.
How does that make you feel?
I mean, it makes me a little sad because people are not going to, like, our kids aren't going to consume content like we did. They're probably not going to sit down and watch a movie like we did when we were younger.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't even really do that.
Yeah.
You know?
I think it's interesting. Yeah. I mean, the ways I feel about that thing specifically before I get into my thoughts and feelings about stuff is I think that it's a good thing ultimately, but it comes at the sacrifice of things that we hold dear.
Yeah.
The idea of going to a big blockbuster film and having a crazy experience in the theater with a bunch of other people is kind of a dying idea.
Yeah.
And which is crazy. Who would have thought that theaters are probably going out of business, you know? But they are, either soon or eventually. And so, because of that, you start to think of like, you have to have the mentality that we're sacrificing that for something better. So you have to think, the way I have to think about it is, what is that better thing? I think the better thing is that the industry is going to start opening up for people like me, you, and so many other people that are awesome people and awesome creatives, especially in the world of film, that don't really have a way that they can do this without going in by someone else's format. We don't have to keep talking about the industry. Just since you brought up this idea of that, I feel like it's something that's been on my mind recently. And it's kind of like the big trade-off. So we're equalizing the playing field, but we also have to sacrifice something that's sentimental.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it is interesting to think about how things are going to go, what's next, or...
Yeah.
I mean, everything's always been the Wild West. We're the ones creating the content now and not the consumer as much.
Yeah.
I mean, we are still consuming, but it's not like when we were younger, we weren't making anything. We were just consuming content.
Yeah.
It's like back then, it was the Wild West. They were coming up with tapes. I mean, before that, it was film.
Mm-hmm.
And then they got tapes, and then they had DV tapes.
Yeah, when people started watching
digital
from home,
it
got weird.
Yeah, it was definitely weird for people. I mean, just a couple generations ago, or even one generation, they remember like black and white, and that was like it.
Yeah. Yeah. One generation ago.
Mm-hmm.
I remember our dad was into like the old Batman, the cheesy stuff. And he's our dad.
Still good.
And that's like brand new. I don't even know if that show that he watched was in color. You think it was?
I don't know.
I know they made remakes that were definitely in color, but I don't even know if everything in that show was in color. I think there was literally a black and white period of that show.
Yeah.
And I'm sure my dad participated. I'm sure my dad watched black and white TV and shows when he was a kid.
Yeah.
That's
pretty
just our
soon
dad.
we're gonna be like the old guys that are like, we had it better because we had VHS tapes.
VHS. That was our childhood.
And all you guys have now is just a chip that you just close your eyes and watch the film in your brain.
In a world of VR that we don't even understand yet.
Yeah.
Because of friggin' Elon Musk.
That's a thing. Can you imagine watching a film in VR?
They already have it. You can go on YouTube right now, and if you have VR glasses, you can watch short films in virtual reality that people have made on YouTube.
Oh, no. You mean like in the world?
Mm-hmm.
For real?
Mm-hmm.
This is new to me. You're like, it's a film, but you're in the world.
Yeah. You can watch a whole scene from like a short film play out, like at a table with cowboys, and you're sitting at the table, and you can look around and see them talking to each other.
Oh, well, yeah, but I'm talking about more, like a little bit more intricate than that.
And sometimes the camera, where your perspective will like slowly move across the table and face a different direction, like you just got seated in a different spot.
Yeah,
you
like
know?
a 360 camera is what it is.
But if you have VR glasses, then you're in the world.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Well, it's interesting to think about what's next.
Well, I want to get back, because we've talked about the industry for a while.
Yeah. Let's get back to our passion.
Well, yeah, I want to hear from you. What are thoughts? What was your experience? Like, what was truly like your thoughts and insecurities that you had getting into, like, even just making the decision to get into this?
What do you mean by insecurities? What are you fishing at? Because I know.
All right, you want me to talk about something for myself?
Yeah, you can dive into it a little bit, and then I'll kind of elaborate on what you're saying. Because I don't know what you're fishing at. You're definitely fishing.
I'm fishing, but I'm not really fishing for anything specific. I'm fishing for you to open up a little, which I know you.
Yeah.
You're not good at, as far as exposing your emotions. When I decided I loved filmmaking, I was scared. And the big part of that is because I knew I wanted to make films because of Peter Jackson's behind the scenes from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
All of that stuff. I was like, that's what I want to do for a living.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew it, and I instantly was afraid, because I knew that at some point I would have to be on that level, and I had no idea how to get there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's interesting, because
and
I was listening to a podcast like a couple weeks ago where someone was talking about, I don't even remember the context exactly. Or no, it was a book. I was listening to an audio book. Wasn't even someone said something like, when you're really destined to do something, when you're supposed to do that thing, most of the time, no, not most of the time, you're always going to be afraid to do that thing, because you're like, crap, I know that's what has to happen to my life, for me to be fulfilled, for me to do my passion in life, for me to do my thing. I have to do this, but I don't want to, because I know there's going to be so much heartache. It's going to be such a struggle, and it's going to be hard to do, but I have to do it, because that's what my life is going to. But I have to do it because that's what my life, that's how my life is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And I know what you're saying by that, because I definitely feel that in some ways, like sometimes even opening up and being more open. I mean, sometimes I'm like, I don't want to talk about that, but I know if I have to talk about it and be very vulnerable, even on this podcast sometimes.
Yeah. I think something that really, what you're saying happened to me in a moment, and it was literally when I was like watching Peter Jackson do his thing on this gigantic set with hundreds and hundreds of people in every way touching different parts of this story that was crazy big. And it scared me to death. And I was like, it scared me because I was like, I know that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
Like everything in me wants to do that. And I was like, I don't know how to get there. And I don't know if I could get there, but I want to so bad. And I feel like it's my obligation to myself to get there.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I ever will. And it is scary.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And being initially that way was very scary because initially you don't know anything.
No.
You don't even know how the camera works. All you know is there's a record button and a power button on a camera.
Yeah, and you got to learn all these small
and
things.
Even that's digital,
mm-hmm.
you know? You get back to the old days, what is film? Like, what is film? How does that even work? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I definitely understand what you're saying. I have had times in my life like that.
So once you started going down that road, though, I know a big part of it was self-discovery.
Yeah.
For us, making little stupid films with a little digital camera where we didn't actually, we just put it on a tripod and we hit record and let the camera do whatever it wants. You know what I mean? And we just did stuff in front of the camera. And we did that with friends, and we learned how to edit in a very, basic way. And that's kind of how we got started. And we're like, once I understood like how things are edited, the world became like much more tangible for me.
Yeah.
Not that I felt like I could do anything on that scale. And in fact, it actually opened up and realized I don't even know how on earth they do some things because I'm barely able to do this dumb thing. You know what I mean? But it did open up the world of like, oh, that's how you make a movie. There's a timeline and you put it together like a puzzle, and it plays from 0 to however long your film is, and you got to build it literally. You either, in the old days, they build it physically and then they made copies of that physical building on film and tape. And today it's in a computer. You're just on a screen and you're building a puzzle with a bunch of electron recorded things that is not physical. It's everything like we do is not physical. There's no physical. It's all just this theory of something existing, which is like a video.
Yeah.
Or these little electronic waves that is my voice that comes through this microphone. This microphone's physical. We bought a physical thing from a company, or you did, to get these microphones. That can capture physical and make it into nothing. And our business is a nothing. It's a thing, but it doesn't weigh anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's only value to it if you're able to figure out how to add value to it. Oh my gosh, that's a realization I just had. What we do is nothing unless we have to come up with some way. That's literally what we're doing right now. We're figuring out a way on how to add value to our nothing, to our not physical thing. Because humans are like, yeah, there's some worth to that chair. It costs like $20. You know what I mean? Or $30 or $50, depending on how good of a chair, because it's a physical thing. No one's going to be like, you don't walk into a house and expect to pick up someone's chair and say, all right, I'm going to take this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But on YouTube, that's what they're doing. People are browsing and saying, all right, I'm going to take this for free. Do I like it? Mostly no. And then you move on.
And it's so skewed too by like saturation of the market or by all these people saying this and that. And it's like our perspective of something.
Yeah.
I mean, like I was talking about earlier, people that are imposters for who are having Instagram photography, what am I to judge and say that their stuff isn't good? It's good. It's the best that they are in this moment.
As long as they aren't ignorant to the fact that they have a lot to learn. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Everyone has imposter syndrome. The people we don't like in the artistic or the filmmaking or even photography is people that walk around with a big head thinking they're awesome.
Yeah.
You know?
I think and I know Alex talked about this, and we talk about it, and something I've been thinking about, because I've been another audiobook that I've been reading part of this month. They brought up in it most of our purpose in life, and something that we should strive for is to serve other people.
Yes.
And
well, in the process of working to make other people's dreams come true,
yeah, you're making
you're making your own dream come true as well. Be other people focused, and you'll come to discover that you are also satisfied and fulfilled in your dreams as well. So
if you're walking around not with a big head trying to help other people out, and you're learning, and you have all this knowledge that you're helping other people out with, to basically make your own thing and have value. Your own thing is your self-worth, helping other people.
Yeah, but let's get deeper than that.
Yeah.
Especially in the aspect of us being like Christian guys and values being different person to person. What is the true value? Making a cool film, or being able to work with and grow good relationships with people during the making of that film.
Yeah.
Connections. What if saying something on this podcast causes someone else to decide they want to become a filmmaker?
Yeah.
And we don't even know them. And that all of a sudden changes the trajectory, maybe in a positive way, of someone's life. What's more valuable? Making a film is fun. This is the way I see it. I'm not gonna ask you to like answer my questions, because that's not the way I see it. Is making a film is fun.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of purpose in making a film. The process of making a film and making Wiseworks Company is what is actually more of like a calling, is actually more of like what is important in what I want to do. You know what I mean? Making a film's not important.
Okay.
Having a good time's not important. The process of people is more important. The making the film is fun, and it's something that is enjoyable to do, and that's what I want to spend my time doing. But that's not the important part of it.
Yeah, that's definitely gone deeper than we have gone. I feel like
that's what I want to talk about.
Yeah,
I want to get us to this place. I want to talk about the things we haven't talked about yet in relation to us getting into filmmaking.
Yeah.
I mean, it's taken a long time for me to have that perspective I just said.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to create a business that thinks like Netflix, you know?
Yeah.
Or that thinks like any studio. I want to create a business that is valued on the creators. That's valued on, we have cool entertainment, that's product we're going to sell you. But the people that made them, like I want to boost them up, you know?
Yeah.
I don't want a big library of stuff that Wiseworks Company did. I want to. It's the name I'm choosing to put my work under, and probably your work. Anybody that is wanting to tag their name to Wiseworks, yes. But if you're like, I want my company name to be, you know, Philip Smith. It's my name.
Philip Smith.
And then it's like, that's great. What do you want to do? I want to make films and like tutorial videos.
Yeah.
I'm really inspired by Peter McKinnon. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, do your version of that under the name Philip Smith. I want to help you do that. And I want to create a company that in some way is going to help them do that. You know what I mean? Because what's more important, their content or Philip Smith?
Philip Smith.
Well, I'm not asking you to answer it like you're in a classroom. I'm throwing it into the ether for people to meditate on.
Dora the Explorer?
No, dude.
Through the screen? You're going to give me a second to pause?
Do you see the fox? You do? Where?
Right there.
Right there.
But yeah, sorry, I just threw a little comedy in there and threw you off. But
it doesn't matter.
I
said what I wanted to say. I think.
I agree with you. I think this is something that, well, I mean, we butt heads on what we think about a lot. We're brothers, and that's part of our dynamic, especially with this podcast.
Yeah. It'd be weird if we didn't.
Yeah.
You know, Rhett and Link talk about this sometimes. They fight a lot, and they butt heads a lot.
Can I finish what I'm going to say?
Okay, fine.
We butt heads a lot, but this is something that we agree on. Like, I think this is getting down to something that we agree on. I know something that I'm thinking of, and I know you're leaning towards is, yes, we claim, and yes, we are Christians. But something that I'm interested in lately and studying outside of, not saying that this is something I'm going towards, because I'm not becoming Rhett Lincoln. I'm not going away from being a Christian, but studying like the works of like Buddhism and being a Buddhist, but how they like strive to, I think one of the core things of being a Buddhist is like helping other people and like doing service for other people. And I know that's what you're interested in, because you are really interested in the Duncan Trussell when he's on Joe Rogan, because he is a Buddhist, and his teaching and how he can get so deep and like think about life. And
I don't think I don't think Buddhism, in my personal opinion, I'm not trying to be offensive if you happen to be a Buddhist. I'm just saying, for me personally, I don't think there's much water to Buddhism as like a religion to follow. I think there is a lot of wise teachings that's also mirrored from what the Bible says, just in a more unique way for you to get new perspective on what you already believe, like for us from the Bible. You know what I mean?
That's kind of what I was getting at, is what I was trying to get to. You just made it a little better and more unique.
It changed your perspective, because you're believing the same thing, but it caused you to meditate on it in a different way. If you hear people like Buddhist teachings say the same thing in a different way with a new perspective. It's healthy to think that way. It's healthy. It's good, because it rounds you out as a person. And there's a lot out there to discover. There's a lot of ideas. There's a lot of people. And
there's a lot of patina.
I said this. Yeah, there's a lot of patina. I said this a few weeks ago on a podcast. Maybe it was just like 2 or 3 weeks ago, I don't know. But I said, like, what's the most interesting thing about stories?
The arc, the ups, the downs.
What makes the ups and downs? Why do we watch films?
For the good guy defeating the bad guy.
You don't remember what I said a few weeks ago? It's the people.
Oh, the patina, yeah.
not just the patina.
I don't remember.
The people.
Yeah.
Why do we watch or listen or do anything with stories? It's because of people. We're fascinated with people. There's a lot of people out there.
That's something. And the first time I heard anybody openly say this was at Shram at
our school.
Our school. He said he would just sit down and people watch for hours. Yeah. And it's like, you're an old man. That's a little creepy. And I'm like, wait, I love that doing that too.
You're just younger.
Yeah, I'm a creepy old man.
Old men get dogged on.
Yeah.
Because what do you do if a woman's out there looking around like pinching cheeks and, giving out cookies and just smiling at people? Oh, it's a nice old lady. What if an old man does it? You're probably thinking like, oh, I bet he has dirty intentions.
He smells like tobacco and it's delicious.
Bet he has dirty intentions. That's probably what you're thinking. Yeah. But why? Why don't we just think like, some old men are just out there and they're like, yeah, I've had a pretty crazy life, but gosh dang it, I'm happy to see like, I don't know, a young guy with a couple young kids making a way and starting a family, and he's fresh into the world, and who knows what that guy's going to do. And here's another guy who's riding a skateboard and looks like a punk and has holes this big in his ears.
Yeah, that's something.
But it's interesting. I wouldn't have done that myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah. When I went to Mount Trashmore just to walk for hours on Sunday, yesterday, I was thinking of that same thing. Yeah. I was like, the people that are walking past me, because there was a lot of people there, I'm like, everybody is on their own path, doing their own thing, but it's so interesting. Everybody is having the same life not the same life, but I'm saying like everybody has a life like me, but they're doing different things.
Everyone has a brain.
Different path. They're doing different things. What are they doing? It makes me just think and be like, what are they doing? What are they going to do later? What are they going to eat later?
What does their house smell like?
What does their house
That's what
smell like?
I think.
That's beautiful.
I think, what does their house smell like? Because I don't know why. People's identity for me is wrapped up in their smells, man.
Me too, because I've always said this.
If someone smells bad to me, I can't be around you. And I can't even really be a friend. I'm sorry. And it's not in anyone's control, really.
Yeah. But they have a smell. They have, what are they going to eat later? What are they going to do later? Where do they live? Are they going to go?
Who do they hang out with?
Yeah.
What are the people like that they hang out with?
What is their conversation they're going to have in like 3 hours? What are they going to talk about? Are they going to talk about that crazy crack dad kid that was at Trashmore?
Looking at people, watching people, thinking that he probably has dirty intentions. Yeah. That's probably, I mean, I'm sure they were thinking of it in the moment if you caught eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah. People are the most interesting thing. That's why we like stories.
Yeah.
And it's important to recognize that I don't want to get into this because I'm still curious and talking more about like our feelings about filmmaking.
Yeah.
Because it's probably what I'm going to title this film or this video. Not exactly that, but that's the idea. Is once I got a little bit older, like we got into school, you mentioned Sharam.
Yeah.
I started realizing that I was around people who are kind of interested in doing the same thing, but are a few steps behind me and are a little bit older. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like they didn't really know how to put anything together in an editing software. And although I wasn't good at getting something good out of a camera, I was okay at editing things together for the time, for how old I was, and for being during the learning process. And because of that, I started gaining a little bit of confidence. But even to this day, for those who might be interested, if there's someone out there who knows a lot about filmmaking, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they're really good at knowing about technology and knowing how something works. Mm-hmm. That does not make you a good filmmaker. Mm. So if someone comes to you and knows like all the camera lingo and knows like all the settings of a camera, and you're still trying to figure out, like you understand the basics, like depth of field and white balance and gain / ISO and aperture, those kind of things. If you understand those, you're in a good place.
Yeah.
But if someone's coming to you and being like, and the picture profile and, you know, the gray balance and things like that, those are important. You'll learn over time. But don't be discouraged thinking like, oh, what am I doing here? I don't know any of this. You know what I mean? Because that's kind of stuff you have to learn over time. And that's when it gets into technology's different. Every camera's different. And although it's important, ultimately, it's not the necessity to be able to be an artistic filmmaker. Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree. We've said this, not on the podcast, I don't think, but we've said it outside the podcast before. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of people that we know and that's of an older generation has been around the filmmaking industry for a while. Mm-hmm. There's a lot we can learn from them.
Yeah.
But when it comes to technology, they're a little behind.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Well, it was like what I was saying before.
Mm-hmm.
Some of these people, they were following rules and not artistic guidance when doing some things in the world of film, because in their time, they're just trying to get enough light on their subject.
Yeah.
So they're like, 3-point lighting setup. Why would you deviate from that? It's like, well, I have an artistic vision and I want to try something new. And they're like, but there's a rule that's a tried and true thing. It's like, yeah, I know, but I want to try it out. To them, it makes sense because the technology they've been using for years and years and years required it. Now, technology's changed. Everything's different.
It is different. It's a lot different.
What exactly did you feel like when you decided to go to school? What exactly did you feel like when you decided to go to school and get into this? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
What was some of your thoughts and feelings? Maybe more feelings, because you tend to tell facts.
Well, I was really hungry.
Yeah.
Is that a feeling?
Yeah.
I was hungry.
It's a bodily urge.
So at the time, I was probably eating pizza because I do that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I ate a slice of pizza. And I thought about it.
Thought about what?
What did I think about? I thought about going to film school.
Yeah. What was kind of the guidance to make you make that decision?
I think a big thing when I went to school, I thought, because I knew at that point we were starting to do wise work stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We definitely didn't have anything kind of ironed out, but we're starting.
Mm-hmm.
So I know a big thing for me in my head at the time, and I know now that it was just something I was thinking, and plans always change.
Mm-hmm.
You have a thought, you're like, oh, it's going to go this way. No, it's not probably going to go that way.
Yeah.
I thought I can get into film school. I can probably get into like a TV station, have a job, and then work on Weisberg stuff on the side.
Mm-hmm.
I did that for a little bit, but it wasn't the best.
Yeah. And there was a monkey wrench in the middle of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you got sick.
Yeah.
But you were going to school while feeling sick.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah. You were going through a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I'm a little interested to know, like, how do you think your perspective shifts? Okay, how often do you think your perspective shifts, I guess?
I don't know how big of a shift, because every day I have a different mindset of something, or I'm thinking of something different.
Big shift. Something that you felt like your identity was based in this, like, idea or decision you made, and then you just are like, well, never mind. You know what I mean? How often does that happen?
I mean, everybody has phases of things they're doing. I wouldn't say their identity. Like,
sometimes in the moment they feel like identity.
They might, but for me, not so much. I have phases of I am interested in different things, but I wouldn't say their identity. They don't form my identity.
Yeah.
But I'm interested in something. That happens decent. I mean, everybody kind of, to an extent, has their layers, as Rhett likes to say, of their hobbies.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody has that. Maybe just not as extreme as him.
Yeah. But it comes back around to. It comes back around to, because I'm curious. I don't feel super satisfied with your with your answer much earlier about how you got into.
What do you want, my guy?
I want you to tell me your feelings. I want to hear the exact moment where your gut said, "Filmmaking is for me." I want to hear that moment of like, "Oh yeah, I'm scared to do this, and I don't really know anything, but I guess this is like my destiny." You know what I mean? Like, I want to hear that moment. Obviously, it's not your destiny, but at the moment, it probably feels that way. If you have it, I want to pull the emotion out of it. I want people to relate to this, so if they felt the same way, they'll be like, "Yeah, that's helpful." You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know what you're wanting, and I don't know if I can spit it out and say it.
When do you think that was? Was it before you went to school? Was it after? Was it when we were making films as kids? When was it?
No, I mean, when we were kids, there was definitely a time, and I know this was just me going through life and how our dynamic was, especially with friends, because all our films were done with friends. So I felt like you were in the film, and our friend was going to be in the film because they were the ones who wanted to make a film.
Yeah.
And I was a guy stuck behind the camera. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
So there was a time I just got frustrated. I'm like, I'm not going to be behind a camera and film you guys anymore. I'm tired of that. I'm tired of being the guy that just does all the work so you guys can be in a film. I didn't want to be the guy just stuck behind the camera anymore making films for you guys. So there was a time I'm like, I'm just tired of filmmaking. I'm not gonna do it anymore because I'm just tired of these films. Maybe down the road, after I get not tired of it, I can actually do it because I want to do it, not just because I'm filming someone who wants to make a film when they come over and say, oh, we made a film, this is cool, I'm gonna show my friends, type thing, and actually have a purpose. That's what I was thinking during that time. And I mean, and it did happen. There was some years when I didn't help with anything that you were doing. I didn't do anything. So I did get that break time, per se. And then I kind of came back and...
Where was your mind? What was the comeback? What was the big comeback?
I mean, loop back to the beginning. I mean, and just watching films and saying, like, I enjoy watching films.
Yeah.
I mean, especially when I was sick and stuff. When you're sick, I mean, just think when you're sick, you just sit and watch a film because you have nothing else to do. But when you watch film after film after film, and you get to know the ins and outs of filmmaking because you watch so many films.
You've analyzed so many.
Yeah. And that's something interesting. Yes, I was sick in there, but I watched so many films and I watched so many YouTube videos, and there's things and there's how to build a YouTube video or the algorithm and why things are popular, why things aren't popular. I feel like I have today that other people don't have because I would sit down and just for hours and hours and hours just to pass time because I couldn't do anything else,
Yeah. That's true.
Like after watching film after film or YouTube video after YouTube video, you kind of learn the algorithm. You learn the things that YouTubers kind of subliminally do for this or for that.
Yeah.
Why do they do that?
Yeah. They're tactful decisions when marketing and creating videos.
Yeah.
So very much the successful ones have a purpose to a lot of things. It's not as much random.
So, I mean, I would watch films and I'm like, I have this such a like feeling when I watch a film that I want to create that feeling. I want this feeling that I have when I watch a film because it's taking me out of the moment when I was sick and just like hating life at that point. It took me out of the moment and gave me a little purpose, gave me some joy. So I want to create that for other people. Is that what you wanted?
That's what I wanted. Thank you. Now we can end this episode.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted.
So when I was down and wanted something, a film it would give me a little bit of joy. So I want to create that joy for other people.
Gotcha. That's good. And what genre? You like 80s movies? That's your genre.
Well, we've talked about this on the Midnight Special on every platform, basically. I have films that I like for each genre. Each genre is different. I've got so many films that I love.
Yeah. There's a lot of good stuff.
There's great stuff.
And there's going to be more stuff from us that you will see. But in the meantime, you can go watch last week's short film that we made.
Yeah.
It's called Greater Remembering. You could either watch the whole podcast with the film in it, or you can go to Wiseworks Entertainment YouTube channel and watch it there. It's been posted there as a 4K version, just the film by itself. It's like just a few minutes long. It's a fun little ride, probably. It might bring a smile to your face.
Yeah.
We have a show called The Midnight Special on Spotify. If you listen to that, thank you. Remind you to keep listening to it. We have
this
stuff
Friday at 10 p.m.
And during Sober October.
Yeah. That's that episode.
Yeah. No, it just happened.
Oh, it will be this Friday.
Oh, it will be this Friday.
Your time is so off. Go listen to that. You can see who won. See who got the big bucks, the $80 to $60 maybe. We'll see.
Yep, and we're very appreciative that you're here. Don't forget to subscribe. If you're here and you like these, we would love to know you're here. So subscribe to the YouTube channel and leave a comment. Let us know you're excited, what kind of shows you like, what conversations you like.
Yeah.
And we hope to interact with you.
Yep.
All right.
We're here to make nerds out of geeks out of you. Yep.
Yeah. Bye.